Hi. Next day, another day, episode 28, I think, of 60 Minutes to Lose. I was telling you about this game here. This is another Micronix creation. The original arcade was created by Capcom, and this is 1942. It's not a bad game. The problem is, this is the worst version of it that you can play. We're going to start off immediately with the audio. Listen to this music. Wait. There you go. That's it. That's all you get from music. You get that beeping. And then that really, really bad sounding snare. So, yeah. That's problem number one. Problem number two is that, if you notice very carefully, you can see all of the planes kind of moving chunkily in a frame-by-frame fashion. It's not good looking. It's not smooth. And of course, there's plenty of flicker. You can see planes just kind of vanishing in thin air, see portions of them vanishing. So, the problems immediately become pretty apparent here in good old 1942. Again, it's a pretty good game. I enjoy playing 1942. I just enjoy, better versions of this. Well, there we go. We died. I figured that would happen relatively quick. It's a classic shoot 'em up. I am a fan of the shmup genre, although I will be the first to admit I'm not particularly amazing at shmups. I have a little soft spot in my heart for them, though, and every time I get to play a new one, it's always just kind of fun. They're not the most complicated games. There's definitely nothing along the realms of platforming that you have to do in any of them. Obviously, you're flying in usually a wide open area. Some of them have got greedy for no good reason. Some of them have, hazards that you gotta avoid, be it walls and caverns or something like that, but not 1942. No, sir. 1942 is a pretty traditional vertical shmup. Definitely predating the bullet hell concept. There are certainly times where you have to dodge quite a bit of stuff on screen or deal with a lot of enemies at the same time, but no, it's certainly nothing in the bullet hell world. If you're not aware what a bullet hell game is, you're missing out on something truly horrific. As the name would imply, it is a shmup where the screen is filled with bullets at all times. It's less about shooting things and more about not getting destroyed by everything else that exists. Okay. 92%, whatever that means. Oh, that means we shot down 92% of the planes that stage. Alright. As you can tell, it counts down. There are 32 stages. We're definitely not going to see the end. Don't get your hopes up there. Even if we played perfectly, I don't think that you could do it in a full hour. I don't know, though. You probably could. I might be overestimating the length of these stages. I don't have a hard copy of this game, but I have played it on an original NES many times. My uncle had it on his NES. And of course, not knowing any better, I thought, what a great game. And it's still pretty good, but if you've played 1943 on the NES, you'll see exactly why this port is so derided. And we will be, obviously, we'll be playing that eventually when its time comes. So I'm excited for you all to see 1943 and see just what the NES actually could do. Because for the time, some people might try to claim that this is mildly impressive, but you should see 1943. It's buttery smooth. And there's like no flicker. But this is Micronix we're dealing with, They are of a different level, and I don't necessarily mean a higher level. Taking classic games and making them just not as amazing. So what do you talk about during a shmup? I mean, not much. You just kind of, you let your brain go and you shoot. Yeah, you gotta stay aware enough to be able to dodge things that are coming around here, but I often find that when I just kind of forget about everything that's going on, I tend to play just a little bit better, because then I'm not so concerned, and I'm much better at just, you know, surviving, getting through. Excuse you, microphone stand. I thought I fixed that thing. It was wobbling a little bit less the other day. Alright. That's right, you can do that. I don't remember what that does. Probably invincibility. If I had to make an educated guess. Yeah. It's not the hardest shmup. Not by a country mile. 1943 is harder. That's for sure. If you've never explored the world of the shmup, these older style ones like this are a great place to start. They're not quite as punishing as some of the newer ones. Hey, there we go. We got our wingmen now. Even more bullets. That's what these games are all about. Getting as many of your own bullets as you can on the screen while not falling for everybody else's. That's a little ditty. That is almost certainly an extra life right there. So yes, once your wingmen are shot, they're gone forever until you pick up another pack of them. Man, part of that sprite just disintegrating. We're already reaching that point where the game is really struggling to display everything that it has to. Like, it feels like some of our shots aren't even properly registering. That could just be me being paranoid, but I have a basis in which I believe these things. I wish my turbo button was there. I don't know if that unbound itself or what, but it hasn't been doing anything. I noticed that yesterday in Ghosts and Goblins, and at first I thought it was just a quirk of the programming of the game, but it's not working this one either. Oh wait, but Micronics! That's the common link. Oh yeah, and then your wingman just leaves you once you touch down. Thanks. But we did for sure get an extra life there. See, we lost 2 lives immediately, but we're already back to a little bit of a stockpile. Oh, and our wingman's back. Never mind. And you know, we talked about this. It's all about the points. Build up all the points that you can. The rest will come naturally. With that power up, eliminating everything on the screen. I don't know what that was. Kind of sad I missed the green one. It looked a little more impressive than the gray one. I don't know what the point values are in this game, though. You know, I'm no expert. It's just a relatively easy shmup. You just have to not get too greedy. Of course, if you want to set super high scores, then you gotta get greedy, but that's not what we're out to do. We're not score chasing. That would be a foolish endeavor to give yourself 1 hour with the game and then say, we're gonna master it. I mean, I say that, but there are some people who probably pull it off pretty well. Some people are just very naturally gifted at video games. Like, hey, I was a little worried that I would have gotten the game over in the first 5 minutes. Double that now. We're going strong. Now, it's not the most exciting game visually. I know. What makes me say that? I don't know. What kind of slander is that? Especially when the frame rate is so subpar. move away from the mic to cough. Remind me of my very, very old memes. Alright. 28 stages to go. We still got one wingman. The formations are getting slightly more complex. That's another extra life. Oh no! I went for the power-up and oh, it didn't pay off. We're still at 2 points, but all of our power-ups are gone now. Which is, you know, it's kind of a death sentence, the kiss of death in any shmup that you're playing. Unless you're playing a shmup that doesn't really base itself around power-ups, but power-up-based shmups are the most fun ones. You'll find few people who will argue that. Oh, come on. Well, we got another extra life, so we're still at 2. But yes, this is a recurring theme among the entire shoot-em-up genre. You lose your power-ups, and you may as well just game over. There we go. We at least got one back, though. That's important. Even just getting one can go a big way. If you can manage to recover, consider yourself lucky. Or maybe just consider yourself talented, I don't know. But again, this is not that complex to me. Oh, that was almost really awesome. A couple nice little dodges in there, and then I fell apart in the end, but what can you do? Back to square one. I miss my wingman already. I love the music. It's an absolute jam. This level is like, I mean level. This music is literally like a Hardcore 600 levels. Except I've even heard more impressive on the Atari. The little Pitfall Indiana Jones ripoff jingle. Or the little Tarzan yell. It wasn't technically music, but it could pass the music better than this could. Alright, alright, alright. It's a bonus 8,000 points, don't mind if I do. Ready Player One. Ah, that's a book. It got turned into a movie. The movie was probably better. I only read a little bit of the book, but it's pretty much just pop culture wankery, which is the #1 thing that I hate about the Big Bang Theory, so why would I have preferred in book form? Did we game over? No, we didn't yet. We get one more try. You see what I mean when I say losing all your power-ups is a bad position to be in. Very nice. We're just a little more prone to being shot out of the sky right now. Thank you. Those yellow formations, I believe they always drop power-ups if you get all of them. So they're kind of a godsend at times like these. Come on, man. Okay. It's still not a spread shot. That's an unfortunate thing. Oh, I got this boy here. The hardest part about these games is to keep your attention on every cardinal direction. Because you'll have bullets flying from every which way, and if it's not a bullet, there'll be a kamikaze pilot just waiting to make a fool out of you. Like, Look at that. You move in the wrong direction one way there. You're done. Ah. I failed myself there. 200k on the first run. Doesn't feel that bad. Does that mean we shot down 1,127 planes? That feels like a lot. Hey, the game has a continue function, though. Look at that. Sure, we still gotta work our way up the power-up chain of command, but... You know, it's better than starting from the beginning every time. At least for spectator purposes. Maybe if I were, like, doing something like streaming world record attempts, watching it from the beginning wouldn't be that bad, because, you know, people like to watch a grind every now and then. But this channel is not about the grind. Sure, maybe kind of a grind getting a good game every now and then, but that was just a very poor decision. Hanging her right there. See, kind of odd thing about this game too is, I don't know if there are like any bosses. I certainly haven't seen any at this point, and I certainly wasn't good enough or had the patience enough as a kid to get to any kind of that point. Don't mind my words. They're just doing as they please. I don't have any control over what comes out of my mouth right now. These are honestly the hardest portions of the game, are when you've just got a giant cornucopia of tiny planes going every which way. Fighting off a few big ones? Oh, that's no problem. Give that to me every day. Fighting off a legion of tiny ones buzzing around everywhere? We've got a problem. Probably not a hot take now that I'm thinking about it. You might think that that's the obvious logic path. Oh, the slowdown is working in my favor. It's giving me precious more milliseconds to think. I've always seen, like, professional Counter-Strike players are so close to that. Alright. But no, I always see like professional first-person shooter players and they're like, I got 80 milliseconds ping, that's terrible, I need like 20, and I'm like, man, I don't even have the reflexive ability for those extra 60 milliseconds to make any difference. Now you start getting to like 150, then we got a problem. 200. Not impossible to overcome, but not great. The dreaded 999. Don't even bother playing anymore. The game's over. I'm trying to think of any topics, but man, I'm just shooting. I'm shooting like a madman here. The D-pad, I think, is my better friend here. You can see more precise movement. Since again, it's not trained for analog use. That's how I feel about a lot of shmups. Like, I feel like I'm much better at playing like bullet hell shmups with a mouse. A lot of people are like, nah man, you need the joystick, so much better. And I'm like, but it's so much easier, just going exactly where I want to be. I feel like I've got much more precision control over it. And I had no idea that would have been such a wildly contentious point. Got my wingman, still don't have my spread shot. Or, you know, can't even really call it a spread shot, it just adds 2 more bullets moving forward. More spread than I am right now, let's put it that way. Okay, one wingman down again. Knew it would happen. It wasn't an if, it was a win. Oh. can say how easy it was, and now it's becoming, you know, not a disaster, but definitely a little more complicated. Nice, we got nothing for that power-up. I love that. We call that the bait power-up? We call it that because it is bait, in case that wasn't perfectly clear when I said it. This game gives your thumb a workout. All these old NES games do. Especially when you're mashing a D-pad like this. Oh, what's this? What's this? Is it a boss? I think, oh, it is a boss! Look at that! Proving me wrong. Oh, God. Ah! Didn't get a whole lot done with that. Doesn't help that our wingman just bails on us the second danger shows up. Thanks, man. So yeah, we answered our own question. This game does have bosses. Oh, good. Continues right here. I'm gonna check some of these. When the bullets start flying, you'll start whining. That's how the rhyme goes. Gray or green, these are all worth 50. Keep a note of that much at least. Greatest boss music of all time. I apologize that you gotta sit through this music all the way. Hey, we got him. Hey, he wasn't even hard. You know, I'm not even scared. I'm gonna cover this song one day. At least with nothing else going on, I can kind of make out what the snare line is supposed to be. Drum line, the snare part. Alright. Give me a good power-up, please. Well, that was a free wipe, which I would rank as probably being one of the worst power-ups because it does nothing for you after its initial involvement. That's good, that's good. That's my favorite sound in the whole world. It's the sound of peace. See, what does that power up do? As far as I'm concerned, that one doesn't do anything. Unless it gives you another barrel roll, or not even a barrel roll, it's more like a lick. Ah! Don't ask me what I was going for there. You knew what I was going for. I was trying to get that gray plane out of the air, and it did not pay off. I just wound up making my own life a little more difficult. Come on, I'm looking for good power-ups here. That's definitely a sour point. A sour point of this game. At least this version of the game. I don't know if the arcade version plays any better with the power-up game. I only played it twice a long time ago. But the power-ups are scarce. I'm not saying that you need to give a power-up like every 5 pixels or something like that, but a lot of other shmups are, I dare not use the term generous, they're more consistent with their offerings. To say this soundtrack was composed by Peter Gabriel himself. the newest urban legend. You must all make it so. There we go. Balance that. I was gonna say balance my microphone stand out a little more, but nope. It apparently just wants to keep falling. I did it. I barrel rolled right into a bullet. That's what it's all about. Hey, look, the sand. Hooray for sand, I think. Okay. My problem is, I'm trying too hard. I'm thinking too hard about it. I'm not just losing myself and, going from there. You gotta just completely lax your brain. Quit squeezing your brain muscles. Stop firing off any synapses whatsoever. And just, go full caveman with it, you know? And look at that. We have been rewarded by marginally more firepower. What else have I been up to lately? What have I accomplished? You know, continuing my Fallout 3 run. I'm playing the Xbox 360 version. Only had one major hiccup. I did have a complete console freeze in the middle of Operation Anchorage when too many things were blowing up at the same time. So that was kind of goofy. Otherwise, you know, hard to say where are you in the game because it's such an open-ended game, you know. I think I'm level 13 now, I think. Maybe just 12. I think it's 13. As always, completely stalling out on any main story progress because, you know, those Bethesda games, they're like, you can do anything but the main story. Well, they of course allow you to do the main story, but you're like, but look at all this other stuff. Look at all these side quests you gave me. How do you expect me to do anything when I have all these side quests, man? I don't know what I'm talking about. If there's any of you who have somehow not played an Elder Scrolls or Fallout game, it shocked me. I can maybe understand having played one but not the other, but if you haven't played either, crazy, man. Yeah, not a horrible score, but not a high score either, so I'm unimpressed with myself here. Yeah, no, we definitely don't have enough time to Did we expect to? No. The only game that we're probably going to finish in this whole series is like Big Bird's Hide and Speak or Fisher Price Rescue. I might have to lump those Fisher Price ones all into one episode because I don't know if I'm going to be able to somehow squeeze an hour of gameplay out of a children's entertainment game for the NES. No, the formation got away. I didn't get my power up. Even these fancy-looking planes are only worth 50. Man. You know what those are fancy ones. The ones with a mildly different sprite. You see a different sprite in this kind of game, you get immensely excited for it, because you say, hey, it's something slightly different. Of course, I'm only mentioning them now, and they've already been on screen for a solid, you know, like 15 minutes at this point. I'm grasping at straws, though. Turn the brain off. Although that was a good dodge right there. That course correction. That's a thing of legends. Look at that. They're fine. They got jets now. Jets weren't around in 1942. Video game being unrealistic? Not in my YouTube channel. Video games can only be completely realistic and nothing else. Boo to that mindset, by the way. I don't think it's a common mindset. I think very few people have that. But the people who think realism equals better, I disagree. Some of the most fun games out there are the ones with absolutely no type of grounding in reality. Okay, well, I got at least 2 of them. I don't think I got the one in the middle. Good, good, good. It's the path that awaits me. That should be the wingmen, right? Yeah, there they are! Don't love the wingmen as much as the normal spreader because, you know, they die. Takes a million units to hit them back. But I'd like to get a spreader along with them for maximum firepower. There goes one! There goes the other! Wow! Oh, the bigger plane shot directly backwards onto me! It's a terrible moment. Play him off, man. Alright, we get it. Not so bad. It reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad. What do you prefer? Thank you by Gino or Stand by NES? It's so funny when you listen to Thank You, you know where that comes from. It's such a more peppy and upbeat song than Stand, as you would suspect. But maybe that's what makes Stand so great, you know? It's elaborate use of a sample that you otherwise would not believe would make any sense within it. I know I've gone on my soapbox before about sampling and the effects that it can have, and it is truly an art form. You can't just take any well-known hook, sample it, and expect to come out with something good. You've probably heard enough no-name SoundCloud rappers to have knowledge of that. Some dudes who do their own beats, and hey, you know what, respect the hustle, but not any good to listen to. I can't lie to you. Screen wipe, thanks, wow. I'll try not to spend it all in one place. Okay, good plane pattern. Really allowed me to get behind those 3 without being under any considerable amount of fire in the front. You gotta love that. Another formation. I love that. That's another screen wipe. Could I get a spreader? Something better. Oh, that's not a run, that's a purr and dur. Hey. Not only are off rhymes valid, but they are taught in educational institutes as a valid poetic tool. Which means, utilizing off rhymes, yes, we can rhyme English. For the purposes of poetry. Some people so rigid on the rules of art, whether it's performance art or visual art or stuff, where like, you can't just do that, that's not art. It's like, hey man, guess what, that's what art is. Art is anything that can invoke any kind of emotion, anything that embodies the soul that created it. Art is so wide open that nobody can claim something isn't art. It's like that 4chan comment that was printed out and sold on eBay for a load of money that said this post is art. It said more than that, but it was making some point about how anything can be art, and I'm like, hey, it's unironically a great point. So. Points. Got all that power up was just here. Have some more points. Oh, you know what that is. Yeah. Now our arsenal is looking a little bit better. You know, shame that we had to lose one of our wingmen, but when they effectively triple the size of your hitbox, you know, you gotta expect something like that to happen. Alright, I guess tripling it is, you know, a little bit of an exaggeration, but He's really measuring. 5 points to whoever pulls up a yardstick and properly measures. Alright, well, we sacrificed our one wingman that we had left for a repeat of a power that we already have, so... I don't know what that does either. Is it literally just 5,000 points? I mean, points are nice, you know, you actually do get more than one up in this game, which is, you know, kind of Fantasy Island in every other NES game, apparently. But if you're playing well, you know, you can just keep racking up the points in this one, which is how it should be. Reward consistent play. Don't just say, alright, here's your one life, now get out of here. Well, there goes all hope. Hey, look at that, we still got 3 lives left, though. I don't know what I'm going to accomplish with them. Possibly a lot of nothing, but... If I can get a spreader early on again, I don't know. I don't know when that formation was. A checkpoint may have been after that point. It could be a sad day. Get the Jets out of here. Ah! I made the wrong decision way early on there. It's the kind of game where you can already be dead several seconds before the actual death occurs. Box yourself in the corner. You know, it's just like chess. Could look like you're like 10 moves away from getting mated. Turns out you were 2 moves away. Pay better attention, man. Boy, that's gonna be interesting, playing chess on the NES for an hour. Ooh. Oh yeah, we still got like 2 left. We're just scraping for some extra points, like the point peasants we are. That ain't scraping there, though. 2,000 in one go. I completely zoned out there. See, you have to hit the in-between of turning your brain off enough to where you're not overthinking and panicking, but not turning it off so much to where you literally stop seeing what's on the screen. Shmups are a mental game, you know. They're a reflex game too, for sure, but you gotta hit that perfect place, that equilibrium that gets you going through. Let me say just a go. Great. It's a wonderful day. I feel like it really depends on which side the big plane spawns on. And I mean, I guess I could just try to ignore it, but if you're just gonna ignore every enemy, don't even play the game, you know? Yeah, don't get so greedy to that it kills you, but don't just let everyone leave. I don't know what's going on right now. That was by far the most embarrassingly bad run. 30 shot down. Nice. 57%. That ain't just game over. That's the kind of never play again game over. Dang. Used to play Crash Bandicoot Warped with my siblings, and if we were to game over in the final stage, in the final world, when you finally have to confront the Cortex at the end, his mask that he mirrored after Poo would show up and tell you game over. Okay, over. And if you waited a little bit, I think we play like press start 15 or something like that. But no, me and my siblings would always just say, don't play again. Which I think would have been a much better game over screen, you know, just completely demoralize the player. God of War and Devil May Cry style, when it's like, oh, does baby have to complete easy mode? And they're like, shut up, no I don't! I can beat you. I've played every God of War game, but I have never played a Devil May Cry game to completion. I have to get on that, because as far as I know, they're all good. Even DMC, despite all the hate it gets for its attitude, I mean, it is a pretty subpar game in terms of character building and all that, but come on now. I have heard that it is still an exceptionally fun game. And I can get past a little bit of laughable edge if the game is fun. Because being fun is the single most important thing in a video game. Yeah, presentation matters, graphics matter, audio matters, they all paint an overall picture. But gameplay first. It makes it such a fascinating art form, you know? Seeing how developers can balance all of those things and come out with the overall best product that they can. Micronics didn't hit the mark, as it turns out. I don't think they ever hit the mark. And when you want to talk about Micronics and bad ports, this is not even the worst of it. You have not seen the end of them. And they're coming back in a terrifying way. Not tomorrow, thank God. I'm gonna need something. I'm gonna need a little bit of a chaser before I tackle their next atrocious entry, but you'll see. You'll see when we get there. I think I know what tomorrow's game is. I'm gonna double check at the end of the episode, of course, and I'm not gonna just tell you 19 minutes early. Are you a fool? We got a game over like 7 more times before we can do that. At least I'll give this to them. They were very kind to add a continue function to Ghosts and Goblins in 1942. Although, being that it was also in Commando, that could have very well just been a directive from Capcom HQ themselves. Hard to say. As can be. Easier said than done in almost all circumstances. Shocking revelation there. But, okay. Make it do that, carrier. That's good news. Does that always play? Has that played every time I've beaten a stage? Have I just been blanking that out? It's possible. Don't think for a second that I'm going to claim that I can't do something like that. I know that music. I love that music. It's not even really music. It's all the musical sound effect. Is my wingman? Sure is! The boys are back in town, baby. We only got one song about the boys being back in town, so treat it right. In a shocking event, I got shut down before either of they did. Either of they. What'd I tell you about the English language, man? They say, if you don't already speak it, it's one of the harder Western languages to learn. We got so many rules, we got so many words. Come back to me, wingmen. I'll try not to fail you this time. Look at this. Yeah, I got all those big boys. Close one down. Again, it's a matter of when, not if. Unless you're the top 1942 player in the entire world. Okay, another boss, which is probably the exact same as the first boss, I presume. Yeah, you know it. I think I still get the other wingman's shots, which is kind of funny. Yeah, we got third shot coming off the side there. We didn't die to this boss though, so that's something. Can it really be called a boss if it doesn't have any kind of unique fight elements to it though? No new mechanics, nothing of the sort. Just coast right onto that carrier, man. You do your thing. To the sweet clarion call of this John Philip Sousa composition. Stars and Stripes Forever? Who cares? I want whatever this is. Now, I have not noticed, but this game could very well just be throwing me the exact same, like, patterns of enemies in these later phases, and I wouldn't even notice. Maybe stage 32 is the exact same as stage 19. How am I going to call the game out for that? I don't notice these minute differences. I may have a soft spot in my heart for Schmucks, but that doesn't mean that I'm, on the upper echelon of knowing what's going on in them. Far be it from me to make such a bold claim. Extra live sound. You're my hero. Yeah, it feels like there's a little lull in the difficulty game. It just doesn't feel quite as brutal as the past couple cases were. And that's what's making me wonder. Are they just recycling energy patterns? And at that point, again, I don't know, do I blame Micronics for that or do I blame Capcom for that? I have to see it in a side-by-side comparison with the arcade original. Boy, I gotta pick up that Capcom arcade collection. It's the PS2, the one that has Ghosts and Goblins and 1922 and 1923 and 1969 A Lamar. And look at that. We're unstoppable, except for the part of this video where we get stopped many, many times. Looking at the games list of the good old NES, thinking about the future. Oh, that was a weird formation. Okay. Yeah, that's my favorite. Alright. And I noticed, the unlicensed games category, and I thought, I don't plan on doing them initially, but then I thought, it would be kind of a shame to never look at them, so I don't know, maybe when we're through with this, maybe I'll do like a special series on the unlicensed games and the homebrew titles. Within reason. There are a couple I might not want to touch on. Oh well. We got powered up, so it was about time for us to get put on our place, That's what the game does to you. That power up right off the bat again, though. If there's one that you're gonna give me, make it this one. It's a little bit better than the Wingman. Unless it's just a placebo, which is possible. But that seems almost a bit too cruel. Even for a company as conniving as Micronics. I don't actually think it's conniving. I'm sure they had the best intentions at heart and just, didn't know how to utilize the NES to its fullest potential. Just like how I don't know how to utilize my brain to its fullest potential. Say the average human being only uses, like, 0.00001% of their brain. I can tell that that's the case because of how people are lately. Nah, not lately. People are always dumb and people are always smart. There's always a wide array of human beings out there. The internet just makes the more visible ones stand out a little bit more. You know, if you're going on about your life, just living responsibly, chances are no one's going to hear about you. If you live out your life dying because you gave bath salts to a grizzly bear and then he attacked you, people are probably going to hear about you. So if you read 30 news stories about 30 separate stupid people, just think about it this way. There are there a couple trillion people on Earth, I think? Are we at a couple trillion now? Or are we at several billion? I don't know. Give or take however many zeros you want. The point is, there's a lot of people. And the good news is, you have not heard about all of them doing something stupid. Not even close. I didn't quite see his bullet there. It got lost in his exploding death sprite. That's my excuse, anyway, and I'm sticking to it. Ooh, hoo, hoo. The big boy tried to spawn right in on me, but we took him down as fast as we could. Giving you the play-by-play in case any of you are listening to this over radio. Wouldn't that... Let's just give you an idea for the most useless thing on the planet. A Let's Play podcast. Where you just verbally describe what's going on the screen. I mean, I say it's useless, but people do still listen to sports on the radio. And you know, again, I'm no sports expert, but I don't really see how it can be just as exciting or more exciting to hear somebody say he hit the homer rather than to actually witness said homer in person or with your own eyes. The only people who still listen to sports on the radio are the people who are stuck at their blue-collar job, usually in a warehouse somewhere or a production plant. I'm not knocking those people, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that as in like, oh, these people work in factories so they listen to sports on the radio. No, they do it because they're stuck at work and they can't sit down and watch a TV, but they can usually have a radio blaring in their ear. Provided their evil manager from hell has just kept it stuck on a contemporary country radio. I've been there before. When I worked in the warehouse, there was a guy who did small repairs to product directly next to the loading bay that I worked in, and he always wanted it on the country radio. That was what he preferred. And then down the way, in the main repair facility, or the main repair bay where they did more of the heavy lifting, the bigger jobs, they were listening to stuff like Death Grips. And they listened to it loud, so if you stepped out of the range of the country radio, you'd hear MC Ride just yelling about what he yells about. Oh, that was the quickest use of a wingman power-up I've ever seen. God dang, we're dying. And one day I had my phone on me. We had an aux cable by the radio that we would occasionally use if the countryman wasn't around. And the funniest was, you know, upper management had a very strict, we don't want any like profanity being played on it, even though it was not like an open door warehouse. Customers couldn't hear it. But knowing what I do now about said company, I think it was much more likely that management was more so anti-rap music, because if there was a rock song with profanity, nobody complained. But the second it was a hip-hop song, oh no. terrible. So one day I brought in Atmosphere's The Family Sign. You know, I'm a Minnesota boy myself. You gotta listen to some Atmosphere in your time, and I love The Family Sign. It's not his most beloved album overall, but I've always liked it, and it's some of my favorite songs on it. But, so I plugged my phone into the aux cable on the radio, and started The Family Sign, and the bigwig who had been cracking down on all that gosh darn hip-hop music walked by, and immediately the biggest shit-eating grin on his mouth, and he stood by the radio, and he literally just stood by it, and he kept listening. Now, here's something about The Family Sign. The first, like, solid half of that album is actually clean. There's just naturally no profanity until, like, 6 or 7 tracks deep. And he sat there for 3 whole tracks, waiting for anything to come up so he could tell us to turn it off. And the look of disappointment on his face when it was like 4 tracks deep, and I told him, "You're gonna be listening for a long time, man." It was hilarious. He had to deal with the fact that there was hip-hop music on. They can't just tell us not to listen to it because, oh, well, I don't personally like it. No, they had to give us a kind of reason that they could spin by HR, of course. Nope, he didn't get one that day. Of course, eventually, there's some, like, profanity on that album, but I sure made him give up. And that was a fantastic one. Are white people scared of anything more than they're scared of hip-hop? I don't have any live chat going on, by the way. I'm just making up questions in my head. The man is the completely made-up human being in my head that I've constructed to have this pointless conversation with, you see. The man is also Becky Lynch. The man also Taylor Swift also attempts to be the man, you know. I see we have her take on Becky in the ring to see who gets the official title of the man. Spoilers, Taylor Swift wouldn't win that fight. How about her new album, though, Folklore? I had one person on my Facebook friends list say it's neither folk nor is it lore, and I say I disagree. It may not be your Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan style of folk. May not be your Appalachian Mountain Blues style of folk. But it's your very ambient, dreamy kind of indie folk style. It is. Make no mistake. I'll say I'm a hell of a lot more happy with it than I was with Justin Timberlake's Man of the Woods. That motherfucker had the gall to call an album Man of the Woods, make the album cover him standing in the snow-covered woods, and then not make it either a folk album or a black metal album. Now, granted, Taylor Swift has also failed to present us with a black metal album, and don't get me wrong, the album art for Folklore is very black metal. You know, her standing in the forest in a kind of lo-fi looking picture, black and white. Ooh, yeah. It screams Les Legions Noirs, if you know what I'm talking about. But she also did the same thing to us when she dropped Reputation. Gave us the best power violence album cover that you've ever seen, and lo and behold, there was not a single song that was under 30 seconds long. What's going on, Miss Swift? You're baiting all of us into thinking that you're going through some amazing career transformation. To be fair, I think Folklore is the most grown-up thing that she's ever put out. I guess Red was kind of grown up considering how young she was when that came out. No, I think Red or Speak Now. Speak Now and Red were both pretty good. That's right. I know my Taylor Swift background. I know all my Taylor Swift lore. I know the Kanye beefs. I know she's got teardrops on her guitar, although I will say I don't miss her country face. Some people are like, she should go back to country. I'm like, nah, man. Let her evolve. Let her do something different. You know, if she's doing it, fine, but, you know, she's done with it, she's done with it. That's an hour of 1942. I almost said 1943, but no. That's a much better game. I would have been very pleased to be playing that over this. What do I think about it? Again, it's really not a bad game. It's still playable, just this port of it is so rigid and clunky around the edges, and it's, you know, it's a shadow of what it could be, especially later on when we'll see 1943, and then you'll truly see, oh, dang, the NES was capable of much better. So, yeah, it's a shame that that's what we got, but what are you going to do about it? Well, all that we can do about it for now is look to the future. Tomorrow, we have another shmup coming up, but this is a horizontal shmup, one of the most famous of the horizontal shmups. It's Gradius, which, again, the NES port has a few issues with it, but it's still Gradius. It's still a great game. I hope you'll join me tomorrow for it. It's definitely a little more interesting to watch than 1942, so as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.